Hello my fellow gardening gals and guys, my name's Jeannie. Welcome back to my channel, Serenity Now Garden. I garden in Zone 4B. So today I have a succulent haul here for you. I'm just going to show you each plant, and I also got some creeping phlox that I think is going to go in my rock garden. So if you guys haven't seen my rock garden yet, I will put a card up above here and you can kind of see what the rock garden looks like right now before I plant these up. And I'll just kind of go through each plant, then I'll plant them up, and I'll kind of take you through a little mini tour so you could see. So anyways, if you didn't know, the rock garden that I planted is just a year old, and most of it is like sempervivums and some cold hardy perennials that are succulents. This is a really good time of year to buy your succulents because they reproduce so much that the pots are completely full. Also check the clearance section because like this is one that I got on clearance and it was only $4, normally $8, so I got that at Lowe's, so always check that. So let's just start with this one. This one is Ruby Heart. Now this is hardy all the way down to zone 3. So these sempervivums are also called hens and chicks. So you can, you know, look for those in your local big box stores, and they should. I've got a couple of these at my local just nursery greenhouse as well. So let me give you a close up here. So this says that it gets to be about 4 inches tall and about 6 inches wide, but you can also root these smaller ones in and they will eventually multiply too. So you can plant this like in one plant, in one hole, or you can also rip these apart and just plant them up and root them wherever you want. It's a good time of year. Like I said, it's just cooling down a little bit. We're in late August. As you can see, this plant is really cool. It has like a red tinge to it. This is the one, like I said, I got at Lowe's, but the other ones, they do not have variety names. It just kind of just says like hens and chicks or sempervivum. So let me show you. Okay guys, so here's a couple more. These like well-draining soil. These are also sempervivums. If you can, give them a little bit of shade from the really hot afternoon sun. They prefer that, but they do need at least 6 hours of sun. So let me show you. This one just has more of like a yellowish tinge, and this one has like a pink tinge on the inside. I'm still not sure if I'm going to plant these up in one or if I'm going to split these apart, so I'll show you towards the end of the video. Okay, so here's a few more. Just give you a close-up here. So this one is a little bit greener, and this one has a little more purple in it. Same thing as before. They're just the same sempervivums, hens and chicks, hardy down to zone 3. This one also might be, these actually might be a zone 4. So, alright, so this is the last one I got. Let me show you a close-up. This is more just green. It has a very light pink on just the tips. Like I said, it doesn't have a variety name, but it's just overflowing. And if any of them break off like this, you could just root them right into the soil this time of year. Just kind of place them on the soil, and they should root in. They just need enough time to root in before it gets cold, before the frost. So yeah, let me show you the phlox. Okay, you guys, so this is one of the phlox I got. This is called Drummond's Pink. It's not flowering now. Phlox flowers in the spring. But it looks nice like this the rest of the year, this green foliage. I'll give you a close-up here. So, I think that's gonna look good. Now, one thing about phlox, the creeping phlox, you can actually propagate these by division about every 3 years. They get to be about 18 to 24 inches wide, so if you keep dividing them, you can increase your plants. So this one is just going to be covered in pink blooms. I'll kind of put a picture up of what they look like fully bloomed. You could see they're just gorgeous. And this one is good from zone 3 to 9. Like I said, it blooms in spring. They like full sun to partial sun, and they don't like a bunch of moisture. So if you have areas that kind of take a while to dry out in the spring, you probably don't want to plant these there. Let me show you the other. So this is just a purple variety, but it pretty much has the same stats. So as you can see, it's just really hardy. So I'm gonna go plant these up, you guys, and let me take you on a little tour of what it looks like after. Okay, garden friends, here is my side yard. The rock garden is on the right, just through this arbor. It's just 1 year old. I'm gonna kind of show you what it looks like here, and I'm gonna insert some pictures of what it actually looked like when I was first placing all the rocks. See, I started just from scratch there, and that was just 1 year ago. So this has really come a long way in 1 year. I'll kind of just take you through a little faster, and then we'll stop at each plant that I just planted. So I'm really happy with this area so far. A lot of these plants still need to fill out, but we're gonna get there. I eventually just want it to be like all succulents, and just kind of take over instead of adding more rocks or anything. So that's where I put the one, believe I got that at Lowe's. Yeah, it was just spilling over. I decided not to break a bunch of these up. I decided to put them in clump form like how they are. If any fell off, then I did plant them in another area. But I kind of just like the clump looking. Like, see this one that I put here? This is one with a little more lighter green color. And it just kind of mounds up like that. It's got some like pink tinge in the middle. I could have broken all these up if I wanted to, but we're gonna just start with this. I could always, succulents and sempervivums are very forgiving. You could change them up however you want, but we'll do it like this for this season, and we'll see how we are next spring. We just got some Euphorbia there, some blue spruce sedum. Here's where I put another. Isn't it cool how it just clumps up like that though? I didn't have this color in there yet, so it just brightens up the area. So I think it works well. And sempervivums, they're just the coolest structure. Right next to some Dianthus. Here's where I put a bunch of the babies that fell off. Hopefully those will root in time. Because the cold weather will be here before we know it, guys. Here's some more babies I just put over there too. This is just like the most narrow part of the rock garden. Saxifraga. Yeah, here's more of, this was just like a more green one. I didn't have that color either, so. I love how it mounds up. Looks good next to the moss too. I was going to put little rocks in here, but I think I'm just going to do all moss and plants instead. That's a Himalayan Sky Sedum. I love that. Now, if that comes back for me good in the spring, I'm putting a bunch more of that in. Scotch moss there, and then some naturally occurring moss. Look at this sedum that's blooming right now. I believe this one's called Cosmic Comet, and the one next to it is Plum Dazzled. So I put this clump right in front of it. Just anywhere I had a hole, I put something. Looks good next to that sedum that's blooming. And those rocks. I'm really happy with this area. And that's just some Selenies there. That's a snowflake Selene right there. We got a bunch of different varieties of sempervivums that were already there. Yeah, all different colors. That's just a little cypress. And this is just another color. I didn't just plant these. I'm just kind of showing you what I got here. That's a plum dazzled sedum. That's going to bloom like a hot pink. It's going to be really cool. And there's a couple hiding under there too. Oh, I'm so excited, you guys. I love this time of year though. I think my garden looks the best like end of August, beginning of September. But I'm still working on adding stuff for summer and spring interests as well. And this is where I decided to put the one that had the most gold color in it. So right when you come through the arbor, I hope it just kind of draws your eye right there. This was like overflowing in the container. It like took the shape of the container. So I think it'll hopefully it'll spread out just a little. But yeah, just a few more varieties there. We're slowly getting there, guys. This ended up being like one of my favorite projects I think I took on. So I'm going to spread a lot of that Scotch moss out too. I really like that gold and I think it'll look good in other spots. So what do you guys think? Do you guys have rock gardens at home? If so, what is your favorite rock garden plant? Are they cold hardy? In a zone 4B, we have to be careful about what we plant because there's a lot of stuff that won't come back. A lot of the succulents that you buy online are only good through the cold hardy ones are only good through zones 5 or 6 usually. Yeah, that one really stands out. We got a lot of creeping sedums like back here. That's a arborvitae miniature. Blue elf sedum, blue fescue, and that's I believe in the lavender family up there. More euphorbia, more blue elf. And there was the last one there. I just love how the other side is like really bright. They're both sides are very interesting to look at. Okay, so I decided to put the creeping phlox up in my front bed here. Now the sun is kind of setting and it's like really bright in this area, so hopefully you can see it. But so I have this row of like the silver mound, and it stops when on this part of the new bed that I just added. I just added this half of the bed this spring, so I decided to put those creeping phlox that will flower in the spring right there, and another one on the other side of these potentillas. There's a sonic bloom wagelia just behind that. I think it'll look good once it fills in like about 2 feet wide. Kind of divide those up every 3 years, kind of put them all over the area. So I really hope you guys like that. Thanks for joining me and happy gardening, everyone. Take care.